Whew. Yeah. All right. Sorry about the week off. I had some time that I needed to take for myself. So we're back. I'm going to keep trying to do these once a week. So just keep that in mind, all that good stuff. I hope you guys are well. So today we're talking about what real strength looks like. And what does real strength look like? All right, test 1 2, test 1 2. I don't know what just happened there. I think we just totally totally disconnected. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm good to go here. Technical issues. Okay. All right. Just want to see here what is going on. All right. Are we up? Okay, hold on. Just want to make sure I can see this in here. Okay, all right. Sorry about that. I'll edit that out later. But anyways. All right, long story short, here we go. Here's the situation. What does it really mean to be a strong man? All right. What does real strength look like as a man? And we'll work on this again later, and we'll continue to develop these over the next few weeks. And I want to start you guys off with a real plan here. Today, we're going to go over some different things. These are 6 different talking points that I have, and these are going to be 6 different individual videos that you can watch at a later time. I'm going to give it to you all, and then we'll break each thing down. So the first thing, the lie that we were sold, that's the first thing I want to talk about. It's going to be about emotional suppression. That's not strength. It's actually fear. Number 2, what game actually cost you? Red pill tactics are not connection. You win the argument, but you lose the person. So being right about everything is not, and that's what leadership really is. 5, what she actually means by strong man. And it's not about muscles or money. It's about not falling apart when things get real. And number 6 is the invitation. The strongest men aren't afraid to be seen. That's the move. And that's the whole point. So like being seen is not just, oh, I'm the center of the show. Being seen is, hey, I'm emotionally vulnerable. Being seen is, I can see her. All right. So those are the 6 talking points for the guys that just want to get it without all the drawn out stuff. Door, pull out the chair, be kind, give, support, provide. And what it is it takes you from just actually connecting with. The lie is the things that you do are the things that hold the relationship together. Does that make sense? So like, for example, I was talking with a coworker of mine, and he was telling me about his previous marriage. And he was talking to me about how he was working a lot. He did all this stuff, and she was just at home with the kids and whatever. And, you know, he worked a lot, and he provided a stable home, all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, that's great, but I don't think she married you just for the money. She probably married you because she loved you. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we get mixed up at. The lie has been always trying to teach men to suppress their emotions, provide, and if things get rough, just talk about how much you've done for the thing. When really it is about connection. All right. Number 2, what game actually cost you? And hold on, I gotta get my stuff situated here. I'm gonna put my screens on the side. Sorry, hold on. Whoop-de-woo, whoop-de-woo. All right, cool. So I got it all situated here so I can see everything, I think. Oh man. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. So game, what it costs you. So red pill tactics get you control, not connection. You win the argument and lose the person. So what I learned, my experience with red pill has always been like, you gotta get on your purpose, right? Alpha male strategy says that. Kevin Samuels used to say that. They used to say these things all the time. Get on your purpose. Anyway. All right. So anyway, Yeah, game. All it does is it lets you like get what it gets you the number. Maybe lets you learn how to like, oh yeah, I can swoop, but it doesn't hold things together. And you might be able to sleep with women, you might be able to get dates, you might be able to talk to them and get to a certain point, but it doesn't form an attachment. It doesn't form a connection because it has to be genuine. And like, even when you get into a point where you're arguing and you're disconnecting, there's tension, and you care more about being right than you do about, keeping the person. And when you lose the person, what happens is you are going to become depressed about it. You're going to be sad about it. You're going to feel something. And that feeling tends to be fear, anger, sadness, or anything in between those. And I know because this is where I was. I didn't need game. I needed to learn how to actually connect. And this is something that we can all implement in order to connect with women, because that's what's missing. That is really what's missing in today's world. And this is why a lot of men are frustrated. I mean, I've been there. I totally understand that. And relationships they really take. You can't just have game. You can't game your way through a healthy relationship over the long. My internet is really not doing the best today. Anyways, a woman is going to be able to look at you and talk to you and connect with you just so she can understand, oh, this is who he's really about. I can tell he really cares for me. I can tell that he's really present in the conversation that we're having. And that right there is always going to be game. Yeah, man, he's smooth with the ladies. Yeah, but he can't really hold down a relationship. All right. So number 4 is number 3. Real strength defined. Strength isn't, it's not about never breaking. It's being solid enough to let someone see you without the performance. Like I said earlier, one of the things that matters the most, especially like when it comes to relationships, is making sure that you as the man, you are secure in knowing who you are, knowing what you want, and knowing who you want to be. Knowing those things is going to allow you, it will allow you to connect with a woman, connect with somebody on a genuine level. And that means exposing the things that you're sensitive to talking about. When I went through this, when I went through my big red pill blow up phase and everything, I put armor on. My heart, I put armor on it. And when I put the armor on it, what ended up happening was I turned off my emotions, and I always thought to myself, all right, I'm not going to. The only thing that I really did was stop love from flowing. I stopped myself from really enjoying the time that I had because I was more focused on protecting my feelings than I was actually trying to be vulnerable. Because when you're vulnerable with somebody, that's when you build the attachment. That's when you build the connection. Like, you have a best friend, right? They're your best friend for a reason, because you were able to connect with them in a way that was deeper. It was like, yo, I know the things that are going on in your life, and I understand, oh, that's why. Number 4, leading versus controlling. So control is fear-based. Leadership is security-based. One pushes people away and the other invites them in. So from a relationship standpoint, right? And I'm just going to, hold on, let me get right here. From a relationship standpoint, okay? I actually had this conversation with a guy today. He was talking about how men and women, like in a marriage, the woman should be submissive, should be calling the man daddy. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I get it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You want to be called daddy. You want to be all this stuff. I know. But that is, in fact, a fantasy. That is like a mental thing that you would like to happen, but that's not reality. Because the reality is this. Here's the true reality here. It's us as men, we have a response. Like, we are supposed to be the leaders, right? And what does it mean to lead? Lead is when you're secure in who you are, you know who you are, and you spend your time enhancing the lives of the people around you. Not just by the money that you spend, but because of how you move and how you're running things and how you're moving about it. And so if you get with a woman that has a lot of, let's just say she's insecure about a lot of things, right? She's insecure about a lot of things. And she might be like, oh, well, I want a man that does this and I want a man that does that. And you say, okay, all right, well, that's cool. Well, I know who I am. I know what I want. And, if this is what you want and this is how you want to get there, I can help you get there. Yeah, sure. You want a man that gives you flowers and treats you right and this, that, and the other? Yeah, I can totally do that for you. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's where we've kind of like done that. And when I talked to the guy today, he was saying that women should be submissive. And he was saying that men should just be like hands across the chest like that right there. Yeah. Call me daddy. And I'm just like, no, man, that's condescending. And it's the recipe for a toxic relationship. And it's a recipe for a toxic marriage. And these are the things like that causes problems. These keep causing problems. It's not leadership. Like the man is supposed to lead. Lead means you are going to show people the way. It's not bossy. Bossy is in the back pointing around saying, do this, do that. And if you're not around being a leader, if you're not around, things still happen. Because she knows the plan. You know the plan. Y'all are both in line and y'all are moving forward. And when it comes to dating, what does leadership look like in dating? It's you proving to yourself that you can be there for her emotional roller coaster, because women do experience that, some more than others. And we can talk about that later. I'm an ambassador for the Dr. Taylor Hartman Color Code. If you have not read that book, you need to read it. When I launched my program and I actually start bringing students in, I am not going to teach anybody that does not take the Color Code profile, because it is that powerful. So there's that. If you want to really learn, oh man, ask me about that and I'll send you the link for it, and whatnot. But anyway, leadership means enhancing the qualities of the people around you, right? And in relationships, in dating, that is totally about, hey, I can see she's very emotionally distraught about this. I'm going to, instead of trying to fix her, I'm going to meet her with empathy, right? And that actually leads me into the next section. All right, so section 5, what she actually means by strong man. It's not about muscles or money. It's about not falling apart when things get real. Once again, like I'm saying here, what does that mean? When you, as a man, you think masculinity. Masculinity is not just sitting up there being, yeah, man, yeah, I'm so strong. Look at me, man. I ain't got no emotions. I just sit up on the wall at the club doing this. No, man, that's not what real a strong man does. A strong man is somebody that can empathize. A strong man is a man that can seriously take people, meet them where they are, and then help guide them out. And I mean, not force them out, but make them and help them find their own way out of their situation. And when it comes to dating, it's when she's crashing, when she's having an episode, when she's going through it in the ringers, you're there. You're present emotionally, mentally, and all of those things. Like, you are present. That is the key. You have to be present. If you're not present, if you're not there and on the date, in the relationship, it's going to show. And when it does show up, it'll show up like this. It'll be, I was crying about this. I was very upset about that, and you just didn't care. Well, I told you I was sorry. No, it's, I didn't know that hurt you so bad. And I couldn't possibly understand how you feel, but I'd like to understand. Are you saying that it made you feel like this when I did this? Yeah, it made me feel that way. Oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. Like, this is empathetic words, right? And what we're taught and what we have been taught is strong means like, well, you shouldn't be upset. I got a roof over your head, food in your belly. I make all the money. I work, sacrifice my life, give all of my time. Like, I swear to God, I know, because I've said these same things before, and I'm at a point where I understand, like, all right, this ain't the way to do it. So once again, it's about not falling apart when things get real. When I say real, I mean, I'm not talking chaos like destruction or robbery or something like that. I mean emotionally. They get real emotionally intense, and how to handle that. And that includes relationships, maintaining them, forming them, and in a certain extent, it's also about drawing clear boundaries. All right, the last thing I want to talk about, and then I got to get off, is the invitation. The strongest men aren't afraid to be seen. That's the move. That's the whole point. So, as a strong man, it is not looked down upon to cry. I am not a crier. It's just because I'm a red. I know and if you read the color code, the people code, and understand what that is, you'll start to see that. But it is okay for you as a man to be emotional. It looks a certain way, and it feels a certain way, and it has nothing to do with being weak. Nobody likes emotional baggage. I'm just going to throw that out there. Emotional baggage, nobody likes it. Expressing your emotions and being in your emotions, there is no problem with that. And that means when you got hurt, like me, if you were hurt by a woman and that woman hurt you so bad on the inside, you did like me and you started to put on armor and you started to do that. If that happened to you, I understand. And I understand on a very, very deep level. And that's okay. You are allowed to be sad. You are allowed to cry if you're a crier. You are allowed to do that. What you are not allowed to do is you're not allowed to use those feelings to emotionally manipulate a woman. So if you get hurt and you say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna get her back. I'm just gonna tell her that I'm with somebody else now." That's wrong. Very wrong. When you're on the date, you always think, "Man, I don't want to share too much, man, because it's whatever." But people can appreciate your honesty. Just don't throw all of your emotional baggage on them. Be able to get into a place in an intimate moment, in a connecting moment where you both or feel safe enough to express a vulnerability from the two of you, if that makes any sense. Like, you're on a date and you looking for, because you have some emotional intelligence, which you have to learn, and you look for an opportunity to share something intimate about yourself that you might not just share with anybody. You don't need to go all into detail about everything, but even just talking about how your childhood was, or letting her feel safe enough to open up because you, as a leader, you've led into, "Hey, I know we're on a first date and I'm not going to give you all my emotional baggage, but let's be honest with each other. Let's be real. I want to share some things and I want to connect with you because I want to show an act of good faith to say that I am genuinely opening up to the idea of connection, and I want you to be connected to me and committed to me, because we could be a good match." And this is like, it can all play off of whatever. So yeah, like me, I'm handsome. I make a lot of money. I dress well. I'm very responsible. All of these things, right? And that on paper sounds like a good match, especially when I didn't have any kids. Like, oh my God, I was like, oh, I should be getting them by the truckload. No. Why is it that this guy over here that doesn't look good, is broke, lives with his mom in the basement? Why does he get all the girls? And the reason is this: because he knows how to connect with a woman emotionally. And that's what builds the attachment. And this is why men and women both stay in relationships longer than they should have, because they're attached to the other person on an emotional level. You ever talk to a person and they're always thinking, you hearing what they're talking about, and you're like, why don't you just leave her? Why don't you just leave him? It's because I love him and I can't let him go. That's why. It's the emotional attachment, the emotional connection. And it means at some point you have to open up about you. And that's all right. I got to stop here for today. I'm going to keep doing these things. We're going to keep uploading videos and we're going to get after it. I'm going to keep working on my internet too. If you have any questions or have anything to add, let me know in the comments. I'm always down for a good conversation. Or if you disagree with something I said, let me know. I have no problem with replying back to every single comment because we're still a small channel. And, you guys stay good. Ask questions. There are no stupid questions. I'm down to hear it all. So let me know.